Hi everybody, this is Alex at Ballade Sports. Today, I got a new upgrade for my own Civic Type R. We're going to be taking off the original factory Brembo 4-piston caliper on the Civic Type R, and we're going to be changing out to a new 6-piston caliper that we have. It's new to us. It's a design very heavily based off of the Brembo GT caliper. But the way we made it was we made a bracket to make it direct fit to the stock brake rotor. But we are going to be upgrading this brake rotor to a floating rotor because that's the way the new Civic Type Rs are coming nowadays. The cool thing is the setup that we have. We've seen the new FL5 Civic Type R. They're still using the same brake rotor and brake caliper. So the great part is we're going to be universal for the older FK2 and the FK8 and now the FL5 Civic Type R. So while my guy is disassembling the brake, I'm going to show you over here the new calipers. Look at these things. These are the new 6-piston calipers that we offer. We have the Type R logo. This is the FK8 Type R logo, and we also have one that's going to be a FK2 style Type R logo. Those are the floating rotors. In the back right there, they are J-hook. They are 350 millimeter by 330 millimeter by 32. 350 by 32 millimeter. This is what I want to show you guys. This setup here. Right here, I have pictures on our listing on our website showing the pictures of the pistons. We have a 38 millimeter piston, a 34 millimeter piston, and a 30 millimeter piston. Now, the biggest question I've always asked myself or try to find out why they always go bigger pistons and go smaller. So apparently the way it works with brake calipers is the entry of the disc. You always want the smaller piston versus having the same size pistons on all three to get more even brake distribution, more even brake wear. When the rotor enters the caliper, you start with a small, medium, and then larger piston. That way the brake pad will, over the long term, will fade better. They'll have more brake pad distribution, and the heat distribution will be, the heat coefficient will be more evenly dispersed amongst the brake pad. Speaking of brake pad, this is what I also want to show you. I'm going to use this Project Mu brake pad for the stock Civic Type R, which is also the same on the Mitsubishi Evo and the STI. They all use the same square type brake pad. It's pretty standard for Brembo. This one just happens to be Project Mu. This is this brake pad size versus this brake pad size. About 37% increase in brake pad surface. Look at the difference here. Let's stick this inside. I have a better picture of this on our listing here, but when you stick this inside, you have so much more surface. Try to put this in the middle here. You can see the brake pad has so much more surface on the new 6-piston brake pad versus the old 4-piston brake pad. So here we go, putting them on right now. Where's the old caliper? Oh. He's got to measure. So this caliper is about 12 inches in length and height is about 6 inches in height. Our new caliper is Yeah, we're close. So maybe about 12.5 inches from end to end, depending on how I hold this. 12.5 inches from end to end, and about almost 6 inches in height. Maybe 6.5, just about. Not bad for having 2 more pistons compared to the other. We're gonna weigh these calipers. This is the original with brake pads. Granted, the brake pads are kind of worn. This is about 9 pounds, 15 ounces, almost 10 pounds. We're gonna trade that for a little bit heavier, 13 pounds, 4.4 ounces. So about 3.5 pounds, or 3 pounds, 4 ounces more. Sounds about right for getting more brake pad. So we are gonna save a little bit of weight going to the 2-piece rotors versus the stock rotor. This one is 22 pounds and 5.9 ounces. We'll just put a hold here. Gonna take it off. Yeah, 22 pounds, 5.9 ounces. Now we have a new stock rotor. Oh, that was kind of heavy. And that came out to 24 pounds and 11 ounces. So we do save some weight going to the 2-piece rotor versus this stock rotor. And then that kind of compensates a little. Sorry to jump over, but as I was saying, that compensates a little bit for having the heavier brake caliper. So 13 pounds, 4 ounces versus 22 pounds on the rotor versus the 24-pound rotor stock. So nearly close. We're within a pound, I think. So this is the most important part I want to show everybody. This caliper will receive on the stock brake, the stock hard line. The stock hard line that is equipped on the knuckle. Okay, here is the old caliper right here with the stock brake line, and this one is the new one. We did have to bend it a little bit, but not much, and then it just bolts right on. One thing we want to point out is you are going to need a 12mm Allen, because the hardware we use to install right here onto the knuckle, it uses a 12mm Allen hex. Okay, so that's probably going to be the most specialty tool that you're going to need for this job. That's it. This one's a 10. So after seeing the dimensions, I was kind of hoping that I wouldn't have any issues with the wheels, because I went down from the 20s to 18-inch. This is Advan 18 by 9.5 plus 35. As you can see, no problems with clearing 18-inch wheels. Good stuff. Now we're off to the other side. Rotor's off, putting on the new floating rotor. Chris has got our new caliper here. What do you think, Chris?
I love them.
I think we got that. So, going back to why the piston sizes are smaller, medium, large, when you have a bigger caliper and you have the more advanced piston sizes versus just the stock the stock FK8 caliper was the same piston size for all 4. As the rotor turns into the caliper, you want the smaller piston to bite. Then it bites harder here and here. It actually gives more, because the rotor is coming in at a different speed, the brake pad will have more even distribution when you have a smaller piston to the larger piston. What pounds?
I just torqued it at 90. I don't know what it actually costs.
90 sounds good.
Look it up.
Hey, you know, torque is RFT, real fucking tight. you put the hard line on?
Yes, hardline's already in.
Did you even have to bend?
Yeah, I bent it a little bit.
Oh, a little bit? Just moved it a little bit over? There you go. Pretty cool. Oh, we do want to make note, you gotta make a little bit of clearance on the dust shield right here. We're gonna cut it right now, but just to get it on, this is how much you gotta pull it back. When you bleed the brakes, you always want to start with the inside valve, then the outside valve. Okay guys, installation is done. This is the finished product here. The new floating rotors, the new 6-piston caliper. I kind of think I should have got neon green. Now I saw in Gran Turismo, we did that on the Civic Type R, did a neon green caliper. It looks so cool. I think that's the next color I'll do next time. Also, on the brake pads we offer with this caliper kit is a street level, high performance street level, entry level track pad. It has a heat coefficient of 392 degrees all the way up to 1742 degrees. So that's the data I have. That's going to be on our listing for the actual brake pad data.